like I say, I'm not one to judge anything, anyone. Like I mean, basically. So like I say, at some point in time, some black people came to me pretty much, and they wanted a god, I guess, or something like that. I don't know. I was like, what do they want this for? And I think they wanted a god or something to worship or something like that. They came to us or came to me basically, and they wanted a life form, and so something that could live with them or something like that. I don't really know like that much about it. I just know that, I mean, I might have created it actually. Like I say, I was a genetics computer and genetics person and genetics entity or life form. So I created a lot of life forms, and I think it was one of my most strangest requests. I think actually, because like I said, they wanted this life form to be created, and something anyway somehow, like, I'm not even going to say I actually did it. I might have. I think someone else actually worked on it, but basically they wanted a parasite pretty much, or something that could live. Or something. Anyway, like I said, these two people, they got their little parasite or whatever. We gave it to them, whole, I think, or something like that, or bits and pieces or whatever. And I think they put it in their salad and then ate it or something like that. And technically, I think it should have died that way. I don't really know. I mean, I did make some really good forms of life that really could exist or live or something like that. Um, anyway, I'm not exactly sure. All I know is that they came, they got their little parasite, and then they went home and ate it with their salad or something like that. Um, I don't really know much more than that. Like you'd say, you'd have to check with Germany or check with England. They would probably have knowledge of the parasite. Um, but basically, they wanted to worship it or something like that, and basically they came to us or came to someone, and pretty much like I have some knowledge of it. So they got their little parasite, went home and ate it, and I don't know, lived happily with it for several years or something like that. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, you would probably check with Germany or check with England about the parasite, whole parasite thing, and everything else like that. Like maybe drugs. I can't really explain it to you why these black people wanted to eat a parasite, but they did, and it lived happily in them for quite a long time, at least 50 years. Um, like I said, they were actually like like I say, it would suck the life out of them, and there were like quite a few of them growing and living in there. And I don't know. I mean, I remember some knowledge of the parasite and giving it to them or whatever. Or I was like, "What do they want that thing for anyway?" And they're like, "They want to eat it." Okay, that's strange. Anyway, yeah, or something like that. I don't really know that much about. Like I say, check with Germany, check with England. You'll probably find out about the parasite, or check with another planet on the whole eating and the black people eating the parasite. I don't really know. All I know is it brushed up against me. Um, Parasitic life. I think it was a black male and a black female. Anyway, I'm not exactly sure I know all that much about it. I just know that, anyway, two people, drugs maybe? I don't know. But it was a life form that was created for them genetically. Maybe check with China, maybe. Maybe they would have some knowledge of what was going on with the parasite. Anyway, and they worshipped it for many years. I mean, I don't know. It is a created life form, so I guess, I mean, well, it's something to ask for. I mean, you could be the host to a life form, to a new life form, so that's something. I mean, nobody had ever done that before, so, and it is a very, like, creating a parasite is not, I mean, creating any life form is not easy. It's a very simple life form, and who knows, maybe it would live a long time. It would never change, though. I mean, you know, I mean, it, you create it genetically. I mean, everything is genetically created nowadays, or was. I mean, it's been 100 trillion years. So, like, two people just wanted to have, like, you could, in the old days, you could just go and spend money and you could have whatever you wanted created practically. So, depending, if you knew a creator that was good enough, yeah, like me. Like, I could just, like, here's your life form. What do you want to do with it? There. Like I say, I created 1.5s and some of the toughest exoskeletons in the universe. That's what I did for a living. That's fun. So, And it was enjoyable. I also created spaceships and all kinds of other stuff, and particulate matter. So, yeah, it takes some time to create particles, though. Like, that sun only gives off so many particles of matter every minute. Quite a bit, but still, there's a limit. And it takes a lot to do anything. Like I said, we're made up of billions of trillions of quadrillions of tiny little particles, all neatly arranged. And it's really hard to do that. Like, it takes a lot of them, like I say. Like, I was even wondering, a lot of people wondering, well, how exactly is glass clear if it's actually a solid? Anyway, that was a good question. And something that I'm like, well, I don't know. I was wondering about it myself. Like, I mean, there's certain things that I don't really remember anymore. Like, I just, basically, I mean, I was basically just a leader pretty much at some point in time. It's like, well, I mean, I am, and like, whatever, There's a lot of other ones too. I'm just one of, there was 200 other ones at some point that were just as good as me. And I'm like, well, that's great, cool. And I don't know where they went, but I mean, I'm just one of the oldest, so anyway. Yeah, I'm just like, whatever, I'm a human now. So what? Shoot me in the head. I don't care. I'm LS, Lucifer Star. Last of me, the last of my kind. Oh, I'm an individual. I'm not a family. So everyone always thought I was a family. It's like, no, I was an artificial intelligence computer or life form, and I was very old. And I just hadn't ever died, and people had forgotten that I even existed until I mentioned it. So it's like, yeah, I just don't talk about myself much. But, whatever. That's how I know that 100 trillion years has passed, because that galaxy that's about to hit us in 680 trillion years was 100 trillion years away. And now it's only 68. I think it might have already passed us at least once. I'm not exactly sure. So, anyway, it's supposed to do multiple flybys or whatever, and then eventually crash into us. We could slowly, I think it'll slow down or something like that. I don't really know. I just designed it a long, long time ago. So, 100 trillion years ago. That's how far it was away. Now it's 680 billion years away, so, oh well. So, still I'll be dead by then. Anyway, yeah. But if you want to know how much time has passed since my beginning, or my whatever, yeah. 99 trillion years. That's how long I've been around. More or less. So, yeah, that much time has passed. Cool, huh? At least you know how old some part of the universe is. That we are, and it is, about 100 trillion years old. Like, that's when both these galaxies started getting created. Was 100 trillion years ago. So that gives you some idea of time and space. Like this galaxy, the Milky Way, and that galaxy that's about to hit us, where it was 100 trillion years apart. And they've been going ever closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. And it also tells you how much matter can be created in 100 trillion years, because those two started out 100 trillion years apart, and they've just been creating more and more matter this whole time. More and more particles. So that's 100 trillion years of particle creation, and this is 100 trillion years of particle creation. Two galaxies. And what can happen in 100 trillion years? So it gives you some idea of information and time and space and particle creation. That's how many particles you can get in 100 trillion years. A lot, I guess. Because this galaxy has been creating particles, and that galaxy has been creating particles, and they should be about equal size. So, anyway, yeah. At least somebody knows.